Hello and welcome. This introduction to the Kentucky Academic Standards and Alternate Assessment Progressions training is designed to support special education teachers to develop a deeper understanding of the standards and alternate assessment targets and how skills and concepts grow and progress across the grade spans. This webinar was developed by a task group from the Kentucky Special Education Cooperatives. Please feel free to contact your Kentucky Special Education Cooperative Low Incidence Consultant for additional information. Let's go over our agenda. First, we're going to explore understanding the alternate assessment target progressions. Next, we will have an introduction to content area resources, then a process for deeper understanding of standards, and finally, an introduction to instructional planning processes. The Kentucky Alternate Assessment Google site was created by the Kentucky Special Education Cooperative Network in an attempt to provide easy access to key resources for the current Kentucky academic standards assessed in alternate assessment. The first section of the site is the General Standards Information section, where links to resources not specific to any content area can be found. This site was meant to be fluid, and we hope to add resources as each region dives into the work. So please feel free to share resources and materials with us as you begin to plan your instruction for the standards and assessment targets. As you can see, the Google site is arranged by content area. The corresponding areas have links to instructional resources for each of the grade level standards targeted for the assessment. Please remember that these resources are not meant to be an all-inclusive collection, but simply a tool to help teachers begin instruction and to understand the standards more deeply. Let's review the information on the slide regarding the standards in each content area. We would like to remind you of the name change to Kentucky Academic Standards with Alternate Assessment Targets and the descriptions of the targets below. An alternate assessment target represents limits to a select Kentucky academic standard. An alternate assessment target may reduce parts of the standard with specific guidance to what an assessment item could represent. Not all Kentucky academic standards selected for assessment will have an alternate assessment target, and it may display the language "no limitations." All parts of the Kentucky academic standard are eligible to be included as an assessment item. This would mean that the entire standard in its original form is reduced in depth and breadth and is eligible in its entirety to be used in the development of assessment items. The alternate assessment standards progressions document tells us what we will be teaching and how the standards develop across grade bands. The progressions sequence standards in a way that makes sense for instruction across grade bands, from elementary to high school. This helps teachers make content connections across grade levels. In addition, the progressions provide teachers with a way to determine prerequisite skills students may need to have in place in order to be successful on their grade level standard. The document includes the progressions for reading, writing, math, and social studies, and is meant to provide guidance to teachers as they plan for instruction. The progressions document allows the teachers to see what standards come before and after the standard they are currently teaching. Teachers can see the big picture of how standards progress across grades to teach groups of students in different grades at the same time. This section of the document for reading and writing presents the progression of an assessed standard across grade bands, providing information on the standards that follow the progression each year, as well as standards that show gaps across grade levels. Reading standards are assessed in grades 3 through 8 and in 10th grade. Writing is only assessed in grades 5, 8, and 11. The reading and writing standards are arranged by guiding principles. In the purple box are the standard's name and category. The numbered guiding principle is in the white box above the progression. For instructional purposes, math standards are arranged by progression of mathematical thinking. The math progressions are not by standard numbers as we see in reading and writing, but by mathematical thinking. For example, progression titled Expression and Equations includes a 5th grade standard from Operations of Algebraic Thinking domain, middle school standards from the Expression and Equations domain, and high school standards from the conceptual category algebra. The progression of targets by mathematical thinking will allow teachers to teach a common mathematical concept to the students in multiple grades while providing instruction on the students' grade level expectations. For further explanation of how math progressions are arranged, please see the progressions document and the videos in this training. Social studies is assessed for alternate assessment in grades 5, 8, and 11. The Kentucky Academic Standards for Social Studies are arranged in 4 disciplinary strands: civics, economics, geography, and history. Within each strand, the standards are identified by disciplinary concepts and practices. In the alternate assessment progressions document, the disciplinary strand is in purple and the concepts and practices are in blue. The Progressions at a Glance document shows the guiding principles, the standards across grade bands, and the testing window coded by color. It is a quick guide to the standards and the window in which the standards will be assessed without the standards fully written out. Teachers are responsible for ensuring that students have access to all Kentucky academic standards for their current grade. For the purposes of state assessment, only a select number of Kentucky academic standards have been selected to be assessed. For a full list of KAS, visit kystandards.org. As you can see in the progression documents, there are gaps in what Kentucky academic standards have been selected for the state assessment. But we shouldn't see gaps in instruction for those standards. For example, on Guiding Principle 1, there is a standard selected for assessment in each grade level except 6th. However, that should not lead to a gap in instruction in the 6th grade, but a continuation of instruction around the concept. The progressions document is helpful when planning for multi-grade level flexible grouping. Take a moment to pause and use the links or QR codes to access the progressions and the Progressions at a Glance documents. Please take notice of the interactive table of contents and standards organization for each content area. If you are doing the self-paced module, please pause here to explore the reading resources on kystandards.org and the video created by the Kentucky Co-op Network Literacy Consultants for a deeper understanding of the structure and components of the Kentucky Academic Standards for Reading. The links to these videos can be found in the Phase 2 training plan. If you are doing the self-paced module, please pause here to explore the writing resources on kystandards.org and the video created by the Kentucky Co-op Network Literacy Consultants for a deeper understanding of the structures and components of the Kentucky Academic Standards for Writing. For deeper discussion, if you are doing the self-paced module, please pause here to explore the math resources on the kystandards.org and the video created by the Kentucky Co-op Network Math Consultants for a deeper understanding of the structure and components of the Kentucky Academic Standards for Mathematics. Finally, for those of you doing the self-paced module, please pause here to explore the social studies resources on kystandards.org and the video created by the Kentucky Cooperative Network Low Incidence Consultants for a deeper understanding of the structure and components of the Kentucky Academic Standards for Social Studies. In this session, we looked at the Kentucky Academic Standards and alternate assessment targets, the Kentucky Alternate Assessment Progressions document, and briefly review the instructional resource documents for each content area. These documents help us take a closer look at the standards in order to gain greater understanding of what we are expected to teach and when we will teach it. The progressions documents, along with the instructional resource documents, help us develop our understanding of the standards and how they are connected across grade bands. In the next steps of our planning during phase 3, we will use these documents to further develop connections across grade bands and content areas in order to create curriculum maps, unit plans, and lesson plans for instruction. As you can see here, this is our training plan for phase 3. Thank you for attending to this session today. The consultants are listed on the slide for each of the regional cooperatives. Email addresses can be displayed by clicking on each consultant's name. For additional assistance, contact your regional special education cooperative. Have a great day.